ready to step into a living fairy tale. ČESKý Krumlov is a place of cobblestone streets, colorful facades, and a towering medieval castle rising above the bend of the Vltava River. In this guide, we'll take you through one perfect day, exploring historic squares and Gothic churches, climbing castle towers for sweeping views, drifting along the river at sunset, and ending the evening with hearty Czech food by firelight. Let's dive into the magic of ČESKý Krumlov. Best time to visit ČESKý Krumlov. The best time to visit ČESKý Krumlov is from May to September, when the days are long and the weather is mild, averaging 68 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. This is also when the town is most vibrant, with outdoor cafés bustling and the castle gardens in full bloom. If you prefer fewer crowds, consider the shoulder months of April and October. Temperatures hover around 55 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 13 to 18 degrees Celsius, and while some attractions may have shorter hours, the old town retains its charm without the summertime rush. Winter brings a dusting of snow and festive markets, but keep in mind that river activities and gardens are closed from November through March. Airport tips. ČESKý Krumlov's location in the heart of Europe means you have endless options no matter where you land. The closest major airport is Prague, about 110 miles or 180 kilometers north. From there, direct shuttle services cost around 40 to 50 USD per person and take about 3 hours. Trains and buses also connect easily, with combined fares starting around 15 USD. You can also arrive via Austria or Germany. Salzburg and Linz airports are both closer than Prague, with shuttle transfers or rental cars making the trip in about 2 to 2.5 hours. Vienna International Airport is another option. Expect around a 3-hour drive or bus journey from there. If you prefer more flexibility, renting a car at any of these airports costs roughly 50 to 70 USD per day and offers the freedom to explore the surrounding countryside along the way. Where to stay in ČESKý Krumlov? For travelers wanting a magical view of the castle and cobblestone streets, the historic center is the top choice. Here, boutique hotels and charming guesthouses range from 80 to 150 USD per night, perfect for soaking in the old town atmosphere. For mid-range comfort with easier parking and a quieter setting, look just outside the center in areas like Horní Brána, where prices range from 60 to 100 USD per night. Budget travelers will find smaller guesthouses and hostels from 40 to 60 USD per night on the outskirts of town, a short walk or quick taxi ride away from the action. How to get around ČESKý Krumlov? ČESKý Krumlov is best explored on foot. The historic center is pedestrian only, and its compact size means you can cross town in about 15 minutes. If you're staying outside the center, taxis cost around 5 to 10 USD for short rides. Parking lots around the edge of the old town charge about 2 to 3 USD per hour, perfect if you've rented a car. For castle visits and river activities, everything is accessible by walking, with gentle uphill paths leading to the castle entrance and garden gates. Insider tip. Wear comfortable shoes. The cobblestones can be uneven, and exploring often means gentle climbs up narrow lanes. Discovering the timeless charm of ČESKý Krumlov. Morning. Breakfast. Begin your day at Authentic Cafe, tucked beside Svornosti Square. This small spot is beloved by locals for its freshly baked pastries, delicate fruit tarts, and strong Czech coffee that cuts through the morning chill. Try their buttery croissant or a slice of warm apple strudel, both local favorites that pair perfectly with a cappuccino. Expect to spend around 4 USD for breakfast. The view from the cafe windows looks out onto the square as the sun rises above the tiled rooftops, slowly illuminating the castle walls in golden light. Explore the historic center. ČESKý Krumlov's historic center is a living museum of Central European architecture. Its narrow streets unchanged in layout since the Renaissance. Originally laid out around a medieval market square, this district has seen centuries of trade, war, and restoration. Many buildings still bear faint traces of Gothic windows or Baroque sgraffito, decorations added during 17th century renovations. Look closely at house facades where painted coats of arms hint at noble families who once governed the town's merchant life. Underfoot, the cobblestones themselves have been worn smooth by thousands of footsteps, from 14th century traders carrying salt and silver to modern travelers seeking quiet corners for photos. The plague column at the heart of Svornosti Square was erected in 1716 as a gesture of thanks after the town survived a devastating outbreak. The stone fountain nearby was first documented in town records as early as the 1500s, though it's been rebuilt and restored numerous times since. Visit the Egon Schiele Art Centrum. Make your way to the Egon Schiele Art Centrum in Sroka Street. Entry costs about $11. Housed in a former Renaissance brewery, the museum combined century-old stone halls with bright modern galleries. Inside, you'll find expressive portraits and bold sketches by Egon Schiele, the Austrian artist whose time in Český Krumlov stirred scandal in the early 1900s. His works, often raw and provocative, stand alongside rotating exhibitions of contemporary European artists, making each visit fresh and unique. Beyond the art itself, the museum features personal letters, early photographs, and detailed panels that reveal Schiele's complicated relationship with the town he briefly called home. Temporary shows cover everything from modern sculpture to abstract photography, adding new layers to the museum's story with each season. Insider tip: if you want a sweet treat or a coffee before lunch, stop by the small courtyard cafe attached to the Art Centrum. They serve house-baked cakes and strong espresso, perfect for a quick pause before heading deeper into town. Visit the Church of St. Vitus. From the Arts Center, wander toward the Church of St. Vitus, its Gothic spire rising above the town's rooftops. Entry is free, though donations help preserve its centuries-old beauty. Built in the 15th century, the church has weathered fires, wars, and countless restorations. Inside, soft beams of colored light filter through stained glass, illuminating carved wooden pews worn smooth by generations of worshippers. Alongside the side chapels, you'll spot delicate Baroque altars and sculptures, each telling stories of local patrons and noble families who supported the church over the centuries. Look up at the vaulted ceiling, a marvel of Gothic engineering with slender stone ribs that seem to vanish into the upper arches. The organ here is also renowned. Some visitors are lucky enough to catch a quiet practice session with music echoing gently across the stone floor. The calm interior offers a peaceful contrast to the bustling lanes outside, and the church remains a living symbol of Český Krumlov's resilience and faith across more than 500 years of history. Late morning, visit the Český Krumlov Regional Museum. By mid-morning, make your way up Horní Street to Český Krumlov's Regional Museum, housed in a former Baroque school building overlooking the Vltava River. Entry costs about $2.50. Inside, you'll trace the story of the region from prehistoric settlements and medieval craftsmanship to the elegant 19th century saloons of local nobility. Exhibits showcase pottery shards, Gothic weapons, delicate lacework, and folk costumes that reveal how life here evolved over the centuries. The highlight is a meticulously crafted ceramic model of Český Krumlov at 1/200 scale. It offers a bird's-eye view of the town's twisting lanes, castle walls, and red rooftops, a miniature world that lets you appreciate just how the town has grown and changed over the time. Informative panels explain how fortifications expanded, where fires reshaped neighborhoods, and how architectural styles shifted from Gothic spires to Renaissance courtyards. Plan to spend at least 30 to 45 minutes exploring. It's the perfect way to add depth and context to the streets you've been wandering that morning, connecting you more deeply to the living history that surrounds you. Browse local artisan shops. After the museum, stroll back into the narrow lanes of the historic center, where artisan shops begin to hum with activity. Here you'll find hand-painted ceramics, carved wooden marionettes, and delicate lacework, often made by local artists whose family have been crafting for generations. Prices range widely, from small trinkets around $5 to exquisite larger pieces upwards of $50. Tucked among these shops sits the Museum of Commerce, a small space that reveals the town's trading past through antique shop signs, vintage packaging, and ledgers from centuries ago. Entry here is free, and it's a quick, fascinating stop that adds depth to your morning journey. There's also a small shop attached, offering rep-routine signs and quirky fridge magnets, perfect for picking up a little piece of Český Krumlov's history to bring home. Cross the Lazebniki Most Bridge. As the clock nears noon, wander toward the Lazebniki Most, the small wooden bridge that crosses the Vltava River into the castle quarter. Pause for a moment here. Below, the river glides gently past into the old mill buildings, reflecting the painted houses along the banks. In the past, this bridge was vital for merchants bringing goods into the heart of the town, from salt and spices to fine cloth bound for noble courts. Over the centuries, it's been rebuilt multiple times after floods and fires, but its role as a link between the bustling town and the imposing castle never changed. Above, the towering castle walls hinted the adventure waiting just across the water. Today, the bridge is not just a crossing point, but a perfect place to photograph the castle's looming towers and watch the steady rhythm of boats drifting by. Crossing it feels like stepping further into a medieval story where every stone and timber echoes with centuries of life. Afternoon, lunch at Švejk restaurant. After crossing the Lazebniki Most bridge, settle in for lunch at Švejk restaurant, known for hearty Czech classics and warm tavern charm. Most mains here range from 10 to 15 USD, with rich goulash, tender roast pork, and creamy potato soup among the favorites. Dark wooden beams, crackling fireplaces in cooler months, and walls decorated with vintage Czech memorabilia create a cozy atmosphere. It's the perfect stop to refuel, savor comforting flavors, and take a break before heading uphill toward the castle. Castle Moat and Courtyards. Begin your ascent by stopping at the castle moat, where bears roam below the thick stone walls. Watching them is completely free, a quirky tradition that stretches back to the 16th century when the ruling Rosenberg family adopted the bear as a symbol of strength and nobility. Historical records show that bears have lived here almost continuously since, once even appearing in grand processions during festivals and noble weddings. Today, they're cared for year-round, with keepers ensuring their habitat remains safe and comfortable. Pause here to watch them lounge or amble along the shaded moat before continuing through the imposing castle gates. Beyond the moat, the castle courtyards reveal layer upon layer of architectural history. The lower courtyard was originally built as a fortified market area where traders arrived with carts of salt, textiles, and spices. Stone archways lead into higher terraces, each marked by coat of arms plaques, carved columns, and centuries-old frescoes that survive in patches on faded walls. Some of the courtyards host seasonal markets and festivals today, offering glimpses into how this sprawling complex once pulsed with servants, nobles, and guests from across Europe. Entry is free, and you're encouraged to linger and soak in the grandeur of walls that have witnessed royal intrigue, lavish banquets, and military sieges alike. Cloak Bridge. As you move deeper into the castle complex, look up to admire the Cloak Bridge, its soaring three-tiered arches stretching over the moat below. Completed in the mid-18th century, the bridge replaced older wooden walkways that connected the royal residence with the castle gardens and Baroque Theatre beyond. Its design allowed nobility to cross in complete privacy on the upper level, while the middle tiers carried servants and the lower levels served as hidden supply routes during times of conflict. Standing beneath this bridge, you can almost hear the echoes of processions that once moved between the castle and gardens, with courtiers in silk robes and musicians heralding visiting dignitaries. The stone galleries are lined with lantern-style windows, and cool breezes drift through the archways, creating a calm respite on hot afternoons. There's no fee to view or photograph this architectural marvel, making it one of the castle's most striking and accessible highlights. Castle interiors and tower. For those eager to step into the world of Bohemian aristocracy, guided tours through the castle's interior reveal ornate staterooms, ceremonial halls, and intimate chambers decorated with antique furnishings. Tickets for those tours start at 12 USD per person and cover different routes. Some focus on Renaissance apartments with painted ceilings and carved stoves. Others showcase grand ballrooms lined with portraits of powerful Rosenberg and Schwarzenberg family members. The Castle Museum offers additional insights into castle life, displaying medieval armor, historic documents, delicate porcelain collections, and opulent 18th century costumes worn during court festivities. Combine this with the tower climb for about 11 USD. The tower itself is over 500 years old, with its top offering sweeping views of ČESKý Krumlov's red rooftops, winding river, and rolling green hills beyond. The climb, 162 stone steps, can be steep, but small windows along the way let you catch your breath while admiring the thick stone walls and centuries-old wooden beams. Insider tip. The castle tower provides some of the best photos of Český Krumlov. Climb earlier in the afternoon to beat the crowds and catch clear views before the evening haze settles across the valley. Baroque Theatre. After exploring the castle interiors, continue your journey into the Castle Baroque Theatre, one of the oldest and best preserved theaters of its kind in the world. Built in the 18th century for the Schwarzenberg family, the theater still retains its original stage machinery, hand-painted scenery, and intricate wooden props once used to create the sounds of storm, thunder, and shifting scenes. The space hosted countless court performances, illuminated by candlelit chandeliers that cast a warm glow over richly costumed actors and noble guests. A guided tour lasts about 30 minutes and costs around 10 to 12 USD, offering a rare glimpse into the ingenious engineering and delicate artistry of this remarkable historical treasure. Roam the Castle Garden. Your castle journey concludes in the Castle Garden, a sprawling 11-hectare oasis behind the upper residence. Originally laid out in the 17th century as a former Renaissance garden, it was later transformed into a Baroque pleasure ground with geometrically trimmed hedges, cascading terraces, and an ornate Rococo fountain at its heart. Entry is free, and the garden paths lead you past carefully arranged flower beds that bloom with tulips in spring and roses in summer. Look for the open-air revolving theater at the garden's edge, where modern performances bring new life to historic surroundings. In the evenings, lanterns sometimes glow along the paths, creating a magical atmosphere that hints of centuries of secret meetings and moonlit strolls once enjoyed by nobles beneath the castle's watchful towers. Rafting and boat tours on the Vltava River. As the afternoon light begins to soften, head back towards the riverbanks where the Vltava curves gently around the old town. Here, several local operators offer guided rafting and canoeing trips, a favorite way to see Český Krumlov from the water. Prices for short excursions start around 15 to 20 USD per person and usually last 45 to 60 minutes. Guides share stories of the river's history as you drift past old mills, stone bridges, and leafy banks where swans glide along the current. For a more leisurely pace, join a small group boat tour where you can simply sit back and admire the castle towers rising above painted houses along the shore. The gentle rocking of the boat and the splash of water against the hull make this one of the most peaceful ways to experience the town. Some tours even include a brief stop where you can step ashore and take photos from hidden angles, capturing the castle reflected perfectly in the quiet water. Insider tip. If you're visiting between May and September, late afternoon tours often coincide with golden hour, giving you the best light for photos and a cooler breeze on warm days. Walk along the Vltava River. After your time on the water, stroll the footpaths that trace the river's edge. Small cafés and riverside benches invite you to pause and watch the flow of boats drifting past, while the castle towers glow in the fading sun. One of the loveliest stretches follows the bend just below the castle walls, offering clear views of the old town's painted facades and the stone arches of the Cloak Bridge above. As twilight descends, the town slowly lights up, lanterns flickering in shop windows, and the soft hum of evening settles over the cobblestone streets, wrapping Český Krumlov in a storybook glow. Dinner at Krcma Satlavske Ulici. End your day with dinner at Krcma Satlavske Ulici, one of Český Krumlov's most atmospheric taverns. Located in the historic center, this medieval-style restaurant is famous for meat dishes roasted over an open fire in the vaulted brick interior. Expect hearty platters of pork knuckle, grilled sausages, and roasted vegetables, with mains typically ranging from 12 to 18 USD. The glow of firelight and rustic wooden tables make it the perfect place to savor your final meal while recounting the day's discoveries. Insider tip. Reserve a table in advance if you're visiting in the summer or on weekends. The smoky aroma of roasting meat and warm medieval decor make this one of the most popular dinner spots in town. And just like that, your day in Český Krumlov comes to a close, with castle towers silhouetted against the night sky and the gentle flow of the Vltava whispering through the old town streets. If you loved this journey, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an adventure. And don't stop here. Check out our guides to Prague, Vienna, and other unforgettable European destinations next. Until then, happy travels!